Everyone's downsizing. Small cars are in as we all search for better fuel economy. Even the Ford Focus now comes with a tiny 1-litre engine. As a result, prices of big cars have plummeted. In fact, I happen to think that right now is the best time to buck the downsizing trend and pick up a big used car. So, for the next 5 minutes, big is most definitely beautiful. I found 3 massive cars that offer enormous value for money. Yep, they're very thirsty, but they're so cheap that you'll have enough spare cash to fill them up. First, a BMW. This is the 7 Series, made between 1994 and 2001. When new, these cars were at least £40,000. They were the very pinnacle of BMW's range. Now, you can get one for £2,000, and a good one at that. I found a year 2000 728i. It produces 193 horsepower and it'll hit 62 in 9.3 seconds. It's not quick, but it's quick enough. It doesn't feel sluggish. The best thing about these 7 Series BMWs is they don't feel as big as they are. BMW tuned the suspension and the steering to make it feel like essentially you were driving a 3 Series. Every time I drive a car like this, I look at it and I think it's just unbelievable value. The 7 Series has a bulletproof reputation, but it always pays to give the car a good once-over. Firstly, check that the tyre tread is good across the full width of the tyre, because on these they tend to wear out quite quickly. Although it's only a 16-inch wheel, the 7 has a high profile and unusual width, and they're more expensive than you think. Secondly, keep your ears pricked for a ticking sound coming from the engine, because that is the sound of a failing oil pump. And on these, to replace it, you have to first remove the engine. And I'm not even going to begin to think about the labour cost of that. My next big car bargain is the Jaguar XK8, produced between 1996 and 2005. When new, these V8 stunners cost in excess of £50,000, but right now, you can get a good one from just 5. Before we go any further, just look at this interior. Actually, if you like trees, you might not want to. I can't think of a more appropriate, fully fledged GT car for 5 grand. It's an awful lot of vehicle for the money. The throttle's very, very light, the steering's quite light. Although you're sitting low and lying back a lot, still very comfortable. It is genuinely the kind of car you can soak up the miles in. Okay, it's got a tape deck, not a CD player. Doesn't matter, I've got a V8. What I like about the XK8 now is it's down to a price and it's in an age where you can join a club, you can get it classed and insured as a classic car. There are tons of second-hand spares out there. You can really own this car on a budget. Whilst older Jags don't have the best reputation for reliability, the XK8 is actually one of the most dependable. It's absolutely imperative that you listen out for any rattles on the engine, or worse still, that it's not quite running smoothly. If that's the case, walk away, because it probably needs new cam belt tensioners, and on this car, that is expensive. If the cam belt goes pop, the V8 goes boom. My final choice is the Volkswagen Phaeton, made since 2003. It was designed with one purpose in mind, to be the finest motor car in the world. It shares undergarments with the Bentley Continental GT. When new, it cost nearly £60,000, and now you can get one for 6. OMG. Whilst the more frugal 3-litre is the sensible option, I've gone for a 5-litre V10 diesel with over 300 horsepower and over 550 pounds-feet of torque. The boss of Volkswagen insisted that they created a luxurious saloon that could do 300 kilometers an hour, 186 miles per hour, with 50-degree heat outside, but maintain an interior cabin temperature of 22 degrees Celsius. Okay, and this was born. The crafting and the detail is so anal on this car, but yet nothing says stealth wealth more than a Phaeton. If you were a billionaire and you wanted to slink around without anyone noticing, buy one of these. Naturally, VW's attempt to produce the greatest car in the world is imperilously reliable. However, such a fastidiously detailed car does need to be looked after to be kept at its best, so do make sure that service history is absolutely tip-top, especially if you go for a big engine car like this V10 or the W12. Other than that, enjoy the fact that you're buying one of the finest cars ever made, but at the cost of a Fiat Panda. 3 big cars, 3 tiny prices. If you buck the trend for downsizing, the rewards are massive.